Hi everyone, and welcome to Sports Watch. If you like the content, please press the bell icon for further notifications and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. UFC 311 delivered. It was the first pay-per-view of the year and a great night of fights overall. In the main event, Islam Makhachev showed why he is the pound for pound best fighter in the world. Be it one day or 1 hour. The champ showed that there are levels to this game. He submitted Moicano in the very first round. It was as dominant and one-sided as it gets. It went just exactly as the fight between the number 1 ranked fighter and a number 10 ranked fighter should go. In a short notice fight, it always benefits the challenger and never the champion. The champion has nothing to gain and everything to lose. Islam had an angry look going into the fight. The change in opponent and the loss of Umar might have contributed to it, and Renato Moicano came out of the gate strong and fast. He pressured Islam from the outset and landed some decent inside leg kicks. He even landed a good left hook which appeared to hobble Makhachev. It is here that Islam decided to throw caution to the wind and shoot for a takedown. He secured it at the very first attempt. Moicano gets taken down in fights a lot, but being a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he always bounced back to his feet. However, it was always a question what would happen to him if Islam took him down. Islam's wrestling is so good that most of the opponents are stuck underneath him. He has strong hips and he uses them to force his opponents on the ground. Moicano too found it hard, and as he looked to get up, Islam grabbed a hold of his neck and locked in the darts choke. It happened so fast that Moicano had no answer. The squeeze of Makhachev must be otherworldly because as soon as he locks his hands, his opponents have no choice but to tap. It happened to Charles, it happened to Dustin, and now to Moicano. With this victory, Islam Makhachev now holds the record for the most title defenses at lightweight. He surpasses his friend and coach Khabib. He has literally can lay claim to be the best lightweight in the planet. His 15-fight win streak is the second best in the UFC. So who is next for Makhachev? The champ made it clear that whoever wants a shot needs to make weight and face him in the octagon and try to take the belt off him. One thing is for sure, it won't be Arman Tsarukyan. Dana White made it clear in the post-match press conference that his chance is gone and he has to wait for his turn. Ilia Topuria has been running his mouth, and once again after tonight's fight, he posted that he can beat Islam on the ground or knock him out on the feet. That fight is one for the future. Ilia needs to defend his belt a couple of times in his own weight class before he can move up. In the co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili put on the performance of a lifetime to beat Umar Nurmagomedov. It was the best bantamweight title fight in memory. It was a fight of the night as expected. The pace of the fight was insane. But at the end, it was the cardio of Merab and his relentless pressure that was the difference. He is rightfully called the machine. He simply doesn't get tired. He has weaponized his cardio. He has the best cardio in the whole of the UFC. And Umar Nurmagomedov matched him every step of the way. Umar started fast, and in the first 2 rounds, his striking and takedown defense was on point. Merab couldn't take him down, and Umar was having success on the feet. He landed the bigger shots, but Merab didn't panic. He knew that with his cardio he had to take the fight deep, and as the fight went longer, Merab's pace increased. Umar got exhausted trying to stop the takedowns of Merab. Merab was taunting him, talking to the crowd, even mocking him while dropping him to the ground. Despite fatigue setting in, Umar did his best to stop the takedowns. Merab did take him down a couple of times in the fourth and the fifth, but he couldn't do much with those. He didn't have much control time. But those takedowns scored for Merab. Merab doesn't get discouraged while shooting. He keeps at it again and again and makes his opponent work. Despite being in supreme physical shape, Umar Nurmagomedov got tired and couldn't keep up with the pace. It was here that he lost the fight. It was a very competitive fight. Umar will definitely be back. And Khabib's coaching wasn't great. In between rounds, when Umar was having success on the feet, he insisted on him taking the fight to the ground. A visibly tired Umar couldn't have the worst possible advice. He should leave the coaching to Javier Mendez. In close fights like this, shouting doesn't help. Merab Dvalishvili should now be considered as the greatest bantamweight ever. He has beaten everybody, one champion after the other. This was his toughest and best win against an undefeated challenger. Umar Nurmagomedov will be back. He will gain tremendous experience from this fight. Him and Merab will definitely fight again in the future. In the light heavyweight division, Jiri Prochazka dismantled Jamahal Hill. He dropped him down multiple times before knocking him out eventually. Ever since his loss to Alex Pereira, Hill has been talking non-stop on social media. He hasn't fought anyone in between but behaved rather rudely online. This was a big wake-up call for Hill. It was a must-win fight for Jiri. Jamal looked fat and slow. Jiri's unorthodox movements gave him all sort of problems. His punches came from awkward angles. Jiri dropped Hill with a left hook in the first. It almost knocked him out. In the second round, both were landing good shots. Jamal was landing good body shots. He landed a couple of good overhand rights as well. What Jiri did well in this fight was he moved his head. He still didn't have his hands up. Being a creature of habit, most of the time his hands automatically went down. Hill didn't take the corner's advice and go for the high kicks. He didn't throw many leg kicks as well. He was looking for that perfect shot. Unfortunately, it didn't come. And it was Jiri who upped the pace in the third and final round. If you can't get Prochazka out of there in the very first or second round, then you are in trouble. That's exactly what transpired. Jiri isn't someone who dies wondering. He's always looking for the finish. Jamahal Hill definitely has weakness for left hooks. Jiri dropped him in the third round with the left and then cleaned his clock with the right. Once again, another Prochazka fight in which the opponent gets finished. The only fighter that he hasn't been able to put away is Alex Pereira. Jiri Prochazka is in this tight spot right now. He has beaten everyone except for the champion. And after the fight, he expressed his desire to fight Alex for the third time. Will it be a third fight between Alex Pereira and Jiri Prochazka? Only time will tell. It was a great night of fights, and UFC 311 was a great start to the new year. Let me know in the comment section what you feel. And if you like the content, please like, share and subscribe to the channel.